welcome to the High School Coaches Show. We'll start with Big Red's head football coach Reno Suckosh at 6. We'll have Toronto's football coach at 6:30, Josh Frankie, and Coach Anthony Agresta at 7. Big Red's portion is being sponsored by Fort Steuben Maintenance. Thanks for joining us, Coach. I know you're getting ready for the playoffs and your last game of the season. And I want to start out when you got interviewed after the game. You didn't seem happy after a win.
Well, I don't know. Just I was happy about two things, though, to tell you the truth. The way we started out and the way we finished, because we started out quick, and we, starting at the end of the year, the team gets off the quickest usually has the best chance of winning. And secondly, we got to play everybody. So those were the two main points and satisfactions that I got out of the game.
I thought early you got the ball to start the game. I think you punted and then they punted and you scored the next two times you had the ball, and you were up 14-0 like that. And your defense was playing really well. They didn't have many yards until I believe in the third quarter they took the opening drive and drove down on you.
Well, when we scored right before the half to make it 21-0, then we gave up a big return and let them get in field position with 19 seconds to go in the half. And so sometimes, that momentum can switch, like right now, over the dumbest thing. And we just didn't have good coverage on that kickoff. They got a little bit of momentum going down there, and plus they got the ball. Just think if they would have scored and they came out and got the ball again for the second half. So, we were lucky in that case. But I think that's what turned a great night into a poor night for me, just because it's something that really didn't have to happen. We got out of our lanes, and I know we had backups in, but our backups practiced long enough or hard enough to understand about lane and lane control and gap control and where your gap is, where your area is, and we just got out of it, and we got the ball returned on us.
Yeah, Coach, but I thought from you saying that, but the D-line, I thought played a really good job. I thought the whole game, maybe one drive or two where I saw they didn't control the line of scrimmage, but after that, I thought they played a great game.
I thought our offense and defense, I thought we played a good game.
Yeah.
I just got upset over,
little things.
We could have had a near perfect first half, and we ended up almost giving up a touchdown. Plus, they got the ball to start the second half. So that's not a good way to end the half. What if they had scored and then got the ball again and had that drive they had? Now we're talking about 21-14. But the thing that made it a positive night was at the end and at the end of the third quarter and all of the fourth quarter, we got to play everybody that was dressed.
Yeah, which is always good. I think going forward, I've always talked. I talked to my brother about different things up in Columbus, and getting the young guys to play. Come their junior and senior year, they get that experience.
Yeah.
And say, I've played on Friday nights as a sophomore, as a young junior. So now that helps them out come senior year. And
plus, it's payday. You worked hard all year. Now get on the varsity, especially this year because we had so many reserve games canceled.
And freshmen also too.
And then we got to play a game Monday against Wheeling Central's freshmen and sophomores against our freshmen and sophomores. So that was good. But I was just glad that all the kids, we had 12 freshmen and probably 18 sophomores that normally don't play, got in the game Friday night in Harding Stadium, in front of their fans.
Exactly.
And I thought that I really was appreciative of that.
You guys, you ran the ball well with young backs. When you didn't use Ostovich, you were using a sophomore, and you ran it the way you wanted it, and you threw it when you wanted to do it too. I know you always say you want to run it when you want to throw it, and you want to throw it when you have to run it.
Well, I just don't. I think that a good football team throws it when they want to, not when they have to. Because when you throw it when you have to, it makes the coverage. It makes it that much harder to complete because everybody knows you're throwing. But if you can throw it on running downs and things like that. But, I forget what I was going to say, so it must not have been that important or it must have been a lie. But, I forget. I guess I'm just feeling my age.
No, like I said, from what you're saying, like throwing the ball a lot, is that, I'm looking forward now. Is that going to be a game plan a little more to throw the ball a lot more now?
Well, we've thrown the ball this year more than we would like to, but we've thrown it more than we have in the past.
Okay.
The basic fundamental rule is you got to take what they give you. If you count the box and they got 7 guys in the box, you only got 6 guys to block them. So, it opens up the pass a little bit more. But usually the passing game goes like the quarterback and receivers go.
Yeah.
If they're able to run their routes and get open, and we're able to get them the ball, the more we can do that, the better. But our plan isn't always just to go out there and throw the ball. We do what we do. We want to run the ball. We want to play action pass and be able to do 2 or 3 things from shotgun. But most of our good passes come from under the center off of our running game. And I remembered what I wanted to say. You talk about the young backs that we've had. We've used 7 tailbacks and fullbacks, and they've all been successful. And that goes on the offensive line.
Yes,
because all those backs aren't 100-yard backs, but we're getting good line play.
I think
both on and like you said, Cornell. I'm glad I get to talk to you sports, because I've been talking to 2 pastime guys. Playing that pastime. But now we get to talk, about athletics, and I feel that the offense and defensive line is the key to football. I mean,
yes.
your defensive line, if they're putting pressure on the quarterback, they don't have to sack him. But if Bill's my quarterback and you guys are moving him off his spot, you're doing your job. If you're sacking him, that's icing on the cake, But the offensive defensive line has to, and you got to count your fullback in on that, and you got to count your middle linebacker in with the defensive line, because those guys have to be.
He's filling those
they
gaps.
have to be players.
But that's what I was saying too about the stable of backs. And like I said, me being all the games over the last probably 20 years, seeing the depth of backs that you had. I mean, there's nobody you can put in that you're gonna think, okay, you know what, we're still gonna have a good back, but this one is. I mean, now
no, but we even used Jalen Minifield and Simmons. They're both freshmen. They got to play a little bit, and then Fulks was a sophomore, and he got to play a little bit, and they all did well. And they all, they stuck it in there, and sometimes it's tough. And Fulks did it against Dover. So he didn't do it against some beat up team.
Yeah.
He did it against Dover. So I mean, we just have to keep. If we can eliminate the little things that we're not doing good, then we have a chance to do something, and it comes down to the draw too in this playoffs. But University, whoever thought that University and Mooney were going to have 1 or 2 wins? I mean, it's out of we put ourselves in the hole. We could have finished in the top 4 and we didn't. So, we got to live with it now, and we'll get our first game at home and our second game on the road, and third game on the road, and hopefully we're playing 4 or 5 or 6 games.
Well, getting back to it, I know you don't start the year out thinking, well, I'm going to play 8 backs with guy injuries. You can't prepare for injuries in the
going into the season, I felt that we had 3 legitimate tailbacks and 3 legitimate fullbacks. I really felt that we could play Rodney James, Spencer Ostovich, and Bozika, however we wanted to play them, behind Sims, Hopkins, and Thorne. And I thought, and there's only 1 senior in those 6. Yeah. So we really felt that we were good there. We thought we had good depth there. But it's just been one after another, after another, after another. After 3 games, I thought we had a pretty good football team. I thought, and I thought that we. But then it just started to cave in, but now that's not an excuse. Now the guys that are backups, you can't say they're backups anymore. They have 2 or 3 games under their belt, so they should be able to do what we need them to do to be successful. So, we can't say, well, we're injured, because we're not now. The guys have been in the game, have played for 3 or 4 weeks, and now we expect them to be up to snuff like the rest of the guys.
I don't want to ask you a playoff question, but I know you have an idea where you're going to finish.
Honest to God, I mean, we could finish anywhere from 8th to 6th. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're not going to finish any higher than that. But we can finish anywhere from 8 to 6, and that leaves 10 Talmadge, that leaves New Philadelphia, that leaves
Streetsboro.
West Geauga, that leaves Streetsboro. I mean, any of those are a possibility. But the thing is, any one of those are at home.
Yeah,
So,
which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. You get on a Joe Hotel and they give you an idea of where you're going, and I can't figure out them points. It tells you, well, you can finish between 6 and 9, and then they tell you, what team's going where.
Yeah.
well, we could finish 9 if everybody lost and we lost.
Yeah.
But
If one team wins,
I think our biggest chance is to finish 7th, and we have an even chance to finish 6th. So I think we're going to be 6th or 7th, and
it was Talmadge and I think
that would be Talmadge and New Philadelphia.
New Philly.
Yeah, New Philly has played a pretty tough schedule too. They play
New Philly, they've improved. I mean, that coach has done a great job. I mean, he just he took over a program that Coach Dennison left, and he's done a great job with that. And they're 6-3 right now, going up to Dover, and you never know what happens in that game. I mean, that game's a bitter rivalry, and Dover usually wins the game, but there's been times where New Philly has beaten them. But to me, I don't care who wins that game because we're going to end up playing both of them anyways. As it looks. So,
Well, getting back to the Mooney game, we'll get back just real quick. I really like how you guys come back in the second half after they scored and made it 21-7 because they almost Bill Belichick, as you say, score before the half and then get the kickoff. That's his favorite line. I like to do that twice. You stop that, but they score to start the third quarter. Then you take the ball and you go right back down and score.
I think we went 71 yards. I'm not sure if that's what it was, but I think it was a 71-yard drive. And I'm really, like I said, I like the way our kids played. I mean, it was a great night except for that kickoff return. That kickoff return was unacceptable. And I don't care who was in the game. I don't care how young they were. That was unacceptable. They gave them momentum. And one thing about Mooney, I mean, you can say, they're not a very good Mooney team. Mooney's Mooney as far as I'm concerned. And until we've beaten them a few times, they're going to be Mooney. And we've played them 11 times. We've only beaten them 4. So who are we to talk about what they're doing?
I thought they came and played pretty hard. I mean,
for a team, part, I do too.
For most part, they were in the game. Until you got a couple touchdowns. They didn't quit playing. They kept playing. You can see how their coach was pushing them to keep playing, and they were really playing hard until the last drive. I think he started subbing also.
Yeah, but, tradition never graduates, and they have great. They have 8 or 9 state championships.
I mean, the game plan that I've watched from the sidelines, and it seemed like the coaches knew exactly what was going on. Like I said, it's a testament to scouting. But it seemed like from my point when I interviewed you, I was like they played great on both sides of the ball. Execution for the most part seemed like it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was good.
It was a good game. I mean, the score doesn't indicate how good the game was.
Yeah.
We just we made some good plays, and that's what we need. I mean, you need some playmakers. Like if you want to, like I could point out 100 plays, but the play that I liked the best was Hill to Inky on our sideline.
Yes.
That was a pass that could have gone out of bounds. Inky made a good play on it, and you can say that Hill put it where only he could get it. So that was a play that we need, and we need stuff like that to be a good team, to be a team that to be reckoned with in the playoffs. You need to make plays, and I thought the first pass that our tight end caught, I thought that was a good play to set up. The next play we scored our first touchdown.
Good catch on that too.
But then we had a couple misses. We had an exit to the fullback down the sideline.
Was it Sims that was wide open?
I think it was Mullins.
Yes,
I think it was Mullins.
Okay, Mullins that time. Okay.
We got to hit that. We got to catch that. We got to hit that. Those are plays. Those are plays that are big plays, places that can open up a game, and so we got to make those kind of plays. But going the other way, Inky, and we made that play. So. Yeah. And that was a great catch. So we did make some good plays, and we ran a 4th and 11 screen that ended up being perfect. We scored on with to Spencer. I mean, that was the tackle got flat down the line and got his kick out. The guards came through, looked inside, and it was a perfectly blocked. It was perfect execution of that play. So we did do things that that showed improvement. You know, we haven't been very good at our screen game this year, but we blocked that perfect. And
I think with Spencer going downhill on that play kind of helped out a little bit too. Him getting a head full of steam helped out a lot.
I wanted to punch our running back coach for having him in the game on the screen. And then we scored, so that shows you how much I know.
Well, Coach, we'll take our first break here. We'll come back and we'll talk about this week's opponent, University.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Fort Steuben Maintenance, for sponsoring Big Red head football coach Reno Suckoch on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show. Got a sidewalk that needs replaced, or maybe your roof is leaking? How about some new windows? Who do you call? Fort Steuben Maintenance, that's who. Commercial or residential, they can handle most any project, big or small. They also do new construction and renovations. So get a free estimate by calling Fort Steuben Maintenance today and get them started on your next project. 740-283-4890 for Fort Steuben Maintenance.
This high school event is brought to you by AT&T on Sunset via the AT&T Wireless Network. Remember, don't text and drive, it can wait. AT&T on Sunset is a proud sponsor of this high school event.
You know, Fort Steuben Maintenance should be your first choice when it comes to any and all construction projects, whether it's commercial or residential. Make Fort Steuben Maintenance your first call. You can rely on them to be the experts when it comes to roofing, concrete, plumbing, carpentry, just about any job that needs done. Fort Steuben Maintenance, they're fully licensed and bonded and will even give you a free estimate.
The J.E. Foster Funeral Home.
Thanks a lot for following us at Ohio Valley Sports Online. Why not visit our webpage at OhioValleySportsOnline.com? It's the way to go for sports fans around the globe to follow your favorite local sports teams. Want to become a sponsor of this online sports broadcast? It's easy. Look us up on Facebook under Ohio Valley Sports Online. Drop us a message right on our wall or shoot us an email. More bang for your buck. Why? Because it's not radio. It's an online internet sports broadcast with unlimited and endless potential for you. Why settle for less when you can advertise with the best? Ohio Valley Sports Online. Thanks, Fort Steuben Maintenance, for sponsoring Big Red head football coach Reno Suckoch on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
Well, Coach, we're going to talk about a little bit about University coming back here. I know they're coming in at 1-6. You said they've had a tough schedule, and the coaches got familiar into Steubenville, Mombasa.
Roots, yeah.
Yeah, his like I said, his father Steve played with your dad, I believe. I think he graduated in 70 or 71, but back to University, they've had the toughest schedule, not as far as hard teams, but they've had games canceled on Friday that they're supposed to play that night. They've had games changed on Thursday. They just said that COVID's been really, really tough on them.
A lot of adversity.
They've played 7 games, but they've played 3 or 4 games where they never got to prepare because they canceled the game on Thursday, so they played somebody else on Friday with no film.
Oh, wow.
And that's hard to do. I mean, we did that last year with Martins Ferry, but it was both of us doing it. You know?
One just one, yeah.
Did they didn't play last week, did they?
No, they got canceled.
Again?
They got canceled Thursday night at 10:00, and they're supposed to play Friday. So.
So they had 2 weeks to prepare.
And then they had somebody hooked up that morning, Friday morning, to play, but they went with somebody else, so they ended up not playing. I mean, that's you can say that's the breaks, but I mean that's tough. To go out and practice for 5 days and not play, thinking you're going to play, and then do the same thing the next week, practice the whole week against Cornell Burden's defense, and then on Thursday they change the game. It's a hard way to go about it.
But a good thing for them, I mean, if they had any kind of injuries or any guys healing up, I mean, you got 2 weeks off to definitely heal up.
Yeah,
so.
well, they've had time to heal up.
I do know we're a little.
That's a good way to look at it.
That.
So you're a positive thinker.
Always got to be. But I mean, from that, I know we had a couple injuries. I know we got some guys coming back. That's all. Hill might come back.
I hope that. I think we'll use him probably one series on defense and 2 on offense. Tomorrow, that's what I'm hoping.
Okay.
If it gets to work out like that, he practiced this week a little bit. He practiced 8 plays defensively yesterday and 12 today, and he went offense today. But most of our offense was on air today because we don't want any more injuries, so we've just been going against no defense. But he's been working to get in shape the last 2 weeks, and I just a tough break, man. He was having a nice year.
Yeah, he was.
But that's how it goes. At least he gets to come back. You have a kid like Rodney James that works since 5th grade, and just to lose your whole senior year. But Rodney's been a good sport about it. He hasn't missed one. Him and Javen have not missed one practice, and they have no chance at all of playing.
Otherwise, health-wise, everybody
that's playing is healthy.
Well, you sound like a coach. That's a coach answer.
No, remember let's worry about who's there right now.
Okay, well, going forward to looking at University, like I said, them being 1-6, but I'm pretty sure.
Young.
Yeah, they're young
too.
I'm pretty sure there's some a game plan you're going to key on just to make sure that these guys don't get out. They're definitely talented.
They're 100% shotgun, and. Their basic game is trying to get outside running. When they do go inside, it's trap. So our nose and our 3 technique has to be ready for trap. Our perimeter, they'll be running that wide with they line up a pistol, a tailback behind the quarterback, where he'll be a sidecar on either side, but they try to get outside with it either by option or sweep. That's what we got to do defensively. We got to stop the perimeter and play that trap inside. Our nose and our 3 technique and our Mike linebacker will be responsible for that trap. And offensively, they play a multiple defense, and we only have 2 schemes. We have a gap scheme and a zone scheme. So if our players just understand their rules, it doesn't matter what defense is out there. They have rules. If they understand their rules and follow their rules, then we'll be fine.
When they're one-on-one battles, like you always say,
you got to win your battle.
I can tell one guy that's been winning battles is Fleming. I mean, every game he seems like they just can't block that kid.
Yeah, he's
quick off the ball.
He's doing a good job. In fact, I told him today, his dad's one of our freshman coaches. I told him today that he's really improved. He's starting to play like his mother's side of the family instead of his dad's side. So his dad walked to the other end of the field when I said that.
But offensively, you always say you do what you do. We're gonna run a Big Red offense. We're not going to change nothing.
We're not changing. I think it's real important right now at the end of the year. Do what you do best and throw out the stuff that you're not doing very well. And I think we can improve our passing game. I think our pass protection's good. But we've run so many different receivers. It's hard for Peyton to get that timing with all of them.
Yeah.
So in certain formations, we're going to have certain people in there. He's been working with them now for 2 or 3 weeks. He knows who's in there. He knows who's running what, and I think that should help us with timing's very important in the passing game.
Yeah, because we talk about that a lot. I mean, fans always talking about what's going on, and we always talk about the different receivers he's throwing the ball to, which, like I said, he's probably completed 10 different receivers at least.
Yeah, we went from 67% completion down to 52, but you have drops too.
Yeah,
you have it's not all on the quarterback. Like I told him, the quarterback is too much credit, and the quarterback is too much of the blame.
Yeah.
But that's what you have to live with. You want to be the quarterback, you got to live with that, and.
Especially if you're a big red quarterback.
Yeah, you live with it. Just like you're like the coach. The coach, I get too much credit when we win, and when we lose, I deserve it.
Yeah.
So, but to answer that though, I'd rather be at a place that gets upset when you lose.
Yeah.
I mean, would I rather be coaching at a school that if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. Just go outside, you play the game. No, I want to be here. Our people know good football and they know bad football, and they want to win, but they want to have a good, hard-nosed football team, win or lose. They want to win, but if we lose, they want to lose with class, and they want to lose by our players being physical and playing as hard as they can. So you have to understand that. So it's different here. It's different. But I love the fact that at least I know they care.
Yeah. Here, I'll give you a funny story. It was the year we played Athens, I think. Joe Burrow came in Harding Stadium, and I was walking out. Man, why couldn't we stop that guy? Why couldn't we stop that guy? They beat Clemson in the national championship game. I go, Clemson couldn't stop him either. Then they beat the Steelers. I go, Pittsburgh can't stop him either. I said, he's a pretty good football player. I mean,
He's all right. If we'd had a better coach, we'd have beat him.
but seriously, I tell this all the time. And the people we've played against.
2 weeks ago, it might have been 3 weeks ago, at the same time, we had two guys on TV. The Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sorry. The Cincinnati Bengals were playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is that how it was?
Thursday night.
And Cincinnati quarterback we played against. And then the other game was
Dolphins. Baker.
Was the Dolphins.
Baker, the middle linebacker.
Yeah. But we played against the other quarterback too, and I can't remember who that was. The same time. Oh man, who was it? It was Burrow, and there was another quarterback we went against playing.
That we played?
Oh no, it was Virginia Tech's quarterback.
Armstrong.
That was the same night. They both played on Thursday
Yeah,
night.
you're right.
It was Armstrong for Shelby.
Yep.
Yeah.
And,
Burrow for Athens.
and I'm texting our kids. The kids that played in 2017. I still have their numbers on my phone. I'm texting them about Armstrong, and I'm texting the 14 kids about Burrow. So it's.
Yeah, that's funny. We're talking about
me and Pete Barron have
that.
started we're starting a wall at Harding State in our field house. The bottom part, you guys are familiar with the bottom part of the field house.
Yes.
We have that whole one wall is going to be all the players that have played in Harding Stadium, like Hall of Famers, like Lou Groves, Paul Horning, and all. I mean, Paul Warfield and all those guys.
They all played in Harding.
They're going to be up. They're going to be up on. I think there's we got 47 guys, and we're building a big plaque thing. We have a Calvin Jones Outland Trophy, and we're putting that up in the field house in a glass encased thing.
Nice.
So the bottom is we're going to fix it up really nice.
That would be nice.
I don't mean that. That's what I tell people all the time. Well, Bigger doesn't play anybody. I go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some guys that are on TV are pretty good.
Yeah, I'll talk to my little brother about that, and because we're always talking about Bigger football all the time. And the guys we've played like something like Vernon Davis. I mean, Lattimore. I mean, we've played so many guys who went to the pros.
Yeah.
I mean,
in 2019, we played against 3 first-round draft choices. We played against the defensive end from Alabama. He played for St. John's.
Yep.
We played for the defensive tackle that went number 1. He played for the Canadian team we played. And we played against
Burrows.
Burrow.
Burrow.
All three of them went in the first round, and we played against all 3 of them. So it was a good thing. You know what, though? We only beat 2 of them.
I just got a kick out of it when they said, well, we couldn't stop Joe Burrow. Nobody stops
Joe Burrow.
Nobody stops that
The
man.
Packers will stop him.
You sound like my dad. So my dad says all the time. Well, getting back to it, Coach West, really appreciate you coming here. I know you got a lot going on.
No, thank you, man.
Yeah, you got a big game this Friday, then you're getting ready for the playoffs, and I know you always say you want to get one at home, so you're going to at least get one at home.
Yeah, we'll get one at home.
And where the dice falls, they fall, and we'll go show up and play, right?
Our kids are excited. I mean, we just talked as coaches when we came off the field today. We're walking down there, and 7-2 is a record that you should probably be a little bit happy with. But we're so disappointed, and the kids are so disappointed. But our practices have been, for the last 2 weeks, have been enthusiastic, and not that we've been perfect at what we're doing, but you can tell when kids want to be there to get better, and when kids are saying, "Man, I can't wait till this stuff's over with." Let's get the basketball, or let's get the wrestling, or whatever. But we've had. The last 2 weeks, we've had really, really good Wednesdays and really, really good Thursdays. And maybe in the playoffs, we can add Tuesday and Friday to that. So if we can go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, wouldn't that be beautiful? Yeah. And a nice, not get up to 8 o'clock on Saturday. So hopefully that's what we're looking forward to.
Well, we wish you luck Friday. We'll find out where the chips fall, and we'll see you next Wednesday and discuss your first-round playoff.
My biggest failure as a coach is I tried to get Cornell to come out for tailback. He said, Coach, I don't play the Mickey Mouse sports. I'm a wrestler. I said, okay.
Oh, man.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, Coach. We'll
Thanks,
see you next
Coach.
week.
Appreciate it. I've never played tailback.
Thanks, J.E. Foster Funeral Home, for sponsoring Toronto Red Knights head football coach Josh Frankie on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show. Want to become a sponsor of this online sports broadcast? It's easy. Look us up on Facebook under Ohio Valley Sports Online. Drop us a message right on our wall or shoot us an email. More bang for your buck. Why? Because it's not radio. It's an online internet sports broadcast with unlimited and endless potential for you. Why settle for less when you can advertise with the best? Ohio Valley Sports Online.
The J.E. Foster Funeral Home has been proudly serving the communities of Toronto and Smithfield and all of Jefferson County for over 30 years. They are a family-owned funeral home, and they offer funeral and cremation services tailored to meet your needs, and they do so with professionalism, compassion, dignity, and respect. Jeff and Jay Foster would like to wish the best of luck to Toronto Red Knights and all of the teams up and down the Ohio Valley. If you or someone you know would like more information on how their family can help you guide your family in this time of need, please visit their website, www.jefosterfh.com. That is www.jefosterfh.com. Their motto, our emphasis on family, carries over to yours. J.E. Foster Funeral Home, a proud sponsor of the Coaches Show. This high school event is brought to you by AT&T on Sunset via the AT&T Wireless Network. Remember, don't text and drive, it can wait. AT&T on Sunset is a proud sponsor of this high school event.
Thanks a lot for following us at Ohio Valley Sports Online. Why not visit our webpage at ohiovalleysportsonline.com? It's the way to go for sports fans around the globe to follow your favorite local sports teams.
The J.E. Foster Funeral Home has been proudly serving the communities of Toronto and Smithfield and all of Jefferson County for over 30 years. They are a family-owned funeral home, and they offer funeral and cremation services tailored to meet your needs, and they do so with professionalism, compassion, dignity, and respect. Jeff and Jay Foster would like to wish the best of luck to Toronto Red Knights and all of the teams up and down the Ohio Valley. If you or someone you know would like more information on how their family can help you guide your family in this time of need, please visit their website, www.jefosterfh.com. That is www.jefosterfh.com. Their motto, our emphasis on family, carries over to yours. J.E. Foster Funeral Home, a proud sponsor of the Coaches Show.
And we're back here live at Bennigan's tonight, where we usually have the Indian Creek portion of the show, sponsored by Everhard Funeral Home, but Coach Connor could not make it tonight. Indian Creek has a tradition that they have to do every year before the Edison game, and they had that tonight. So good luck to Indian Creek in their final game, and thank you to Coach Josh Frankie of Toronto for agreeing to come in.
Absolutely, yeah.
This portion of the show is sponsored by J.E. Foster Funeral Home. Well, Coach, you did exactly what you needed to do.
Yeah.
You went on the road, and took care of the business pretty well, and did it in good fashion too.
Yeah, I mean, we were up 14-0 at halftime. They ended up coming back and actually went up by a point there. It was 15-14 end of the third quarter. We went on a weather delay. Honestly, the weather delay allowed us to make some adjustments. And then, thank goodness gracious for Dominic Boucher returning a kickoff return for a touchdown against them to seal the deal. And then he had several pass deflections towards the end of the game to kind of ice it. So listen, it wasn't pretty, but the kids are learning. We've talked about how young we are. The kids are learning how to win games. And I think a couple weeks ago I even said, we just need to learn how to win games when you're that young. And that's what they're learning how to do that. They're not pretty wins, but they're learning how to finish games. Both weeks, the past 2 weeks, we've had a lead and teams have kind of tried to battle back, and we've been able to endure where you look back on that Edison game, we were up 20-0, couldn't seal it. And, so we're seeing some maturation of our kids. We're seeing them be able to battle some adversity and again, find ways to win games.
That'd be a testament to you and your coaching staff to having those losses in a row and then coming back and winning two in a row against two good teams. I would think that your kids would definitely, like I said, understand now we can win those games, and said now and going forward, we can win every game coming up to us.
Right. Now, listen, that you gotta. I'm very proud of our kids because, we obviously had we were winning against Lakota, and they ended up coming back and beating us. We were winning against Edison, they come back, beat us, and those were heartbreaking losses. They really were, and the Edison one was probably the worst, to be up by 3 scores and end up losing by 1 point in the last minute of the game. When that kind of stuff happens, you kind of, as a coach, you become a little afraid that maybe your kids are going to pack it in. Mm-hmm. Maybe that was just too much for them to endure, and they're not going to be able to come back from something like that. But you give a lot of credit to those kids. They showed up every single day. They continued to battle. They continue to try and learn and get better and improve. And it's funny how how much different the mood in the locker room is now compared to where it was 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. I tell you what, Coach, it was a scoreless first quarter, but take us through how you were able to open the game up in the second quarter.
Sure. Speaking of the first quarter, our first drive, we got it down into the 10-yard line, and we weren't able to put it away. And then they end up driving all the way down to, I believe, our 2 or 3 yard line, and we end up getting a 4th down stop, and we get the ball back. That starts the second quarter. We ran 2 plays, and then we ran a tunnel screen to Don Boucher, who actually took it 95 yards to the house. Yes. And then ends up getting called back. It ends up getting called back for illegal block in the back. And, but we ended up, again, having to punt it away there, ended up getting the ball back, and we ran a play. There was a penalty involved, and it's 1st and 15, I believe. And, I don't know why, but I was like, man, Dom's he's having a really good game. I think we need to try and get him the ball again. So we ran a reverse, and sure enough, that reverse hit for about 60 yards. He ended up taking that to the house. So then we get the ball back. We get a stop. We get the ball back again, and we end up 2 really bad plays, put us in a 4th and 16, and I end up calling a fake punt. And 4th and 16, we call a fake punt. The conversation on the headset is, there was a couple coaches that weren't in agreement with it, and I said, guys, listen, this is week 9. I said, what do we got to lose, man? I said, we're up here. We're playing a team that's bigger school than us. We're, they're winning. I said, I don't think we've taken enough risks this year. I feel like in years past, I've always been a risk taker, kind of riverboat gambler. I'm going to be aggressive in my play calling. I said, I don't feel like we've been like that this year. So I'm calling it. And 4th and 16, sure enough, it was Shane Keenan throws it to Avery Wagon, and ends up Avery gets down to the 2 yard line, and we end up punching it in. It was a 56-yard pitch and catch, and we end up punching it in there. So that kind of got us our lead. But, not the listen, so we scored on a reverse. We pretty much scored on a fake punt, and then we scored on a kickoff return. So, however you got to get it done.
That's how the game goes.
Yes. Hey, that was a great call, man.
Yeah, right. Well,
that's one of them. If it's a great call because we made it, but if I don't make it,
well, it's funny. Is my special teams coordinator was on the headset, and he said, if this works, you're going to get all the credit. If it doesn't work, I'm going to get all the blame. that's how it goes, man.
That's right. It is.
That's exactly.
I mean,
right.
obviously, you must have seen something. I mean, through film and through watching
Yeah.
the game. What I think this is going to be open, and like I said, it was a great call.
Well, yeah, listen, I'm a very superstitious guy, and in years past, every week we go into a game, we always have a fake punt at least in the mix.
Scripted somewhere,
Yeah,
yeah.
in the mix, and it's different every week. And we, the idea is that if you need it, it's at least there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We worked
So,
on it.
and we've had those all this year, but we hadn't called it at all until Madonna, and we called against Madonna, and I guess the joke in the coaches' meetings was like, oh, we called that fake punt, that's why we won. So,
yeah, that could be it.
yeah, it's one of those things where the moment and the opportunity has to be there with the fake.
For sure.
And I think honestly that's why it worked on a 4th and 16. I mean, who's thinking you're going to fake punt on 4th and 16? You
And
know
also,
what I mean?
also too, if you don't do it, I mean, once, twice a game,
Right.
I mean, it's out there.
And I think everybody, you get a 4th and 2 or a 4th and 3.
Right,
everyone's
that's what
thinking you're going to fake
expecting,
punt.
yeah.
You get 4th and 16.
Nobody's expecting that at all.
I can hear their coaches now. I can't believe that.
Yeah. Fourth and
Listen,
16, who does that?
my coaches were saying, oh, "You're lucky that worked. We would have been fighting after the game."
Now, what adjustments did they make? They were able to get back into the game.
Yeah, so I mean, they defensively they knew that they were bigger than us in the middle. I mean, they had 2 really big linebackers, and Cam Baker was running tailback for us Friday night, and he's not the biggest kid. He's 150 pounds soaking wet, and we knew if we were going to have any success, we had to run outside. Well, they started making some adjustments to protect their outside. We had early success running outside, and they started making some adjustments running outside and stopping that, preventing that from happening. And to be honest with you, they had one of their big backs was 6'5". He was 6'5", probably 250.
Wow.
And they ended up splitting him out and throwing it up to him. And Dom is probably about 6'1", and Cam, our other corner, is probably about 5'9", 5'10". Right. And I mean, they were having some success moving the ball. So then, when they got down there, they kind of early on they were cramming everything inside. I mean, they were running like a 9-man line and stuff like that. We were going into a 5-3. We ran a 5-3 most of the night, and early on we had a ton of success stopping their tight foot-to-foot split run game.
Yeah.
And then they started spreading us out, going 4 wide receivers and trying to run it that way. And they did have some success until we made our adjustments to that. So once we made our adjustments to that, I think we had the game pretty well in check. They kind of stalled out several drives. So and we were able to run the ball late, control the clock, and get out of there.
The weather delay, I mean, that's a godsend. Like you said, you get to make
Right,
adjustments.
right, yeah. So, I mean, out of halftime, that's when they started going to that 4-receiver set and kind of just trying to pound the ball that way. And we found ourselves a predicament, and you're a 5-3, we're running a cover 3 over top. And in 4 receivers, cover 3, you're susceptible to those 2 slot guys running down the middle, and your safety has to cover both of them. So, we had to jump out of our 5-3, and it was kind of one of those kind of cat and mouse games where we were going to our 4-2 and then they were going back into their tight formation. We were having to go 5-3, and it was just again like a cat and mouse type deal. So it's just that's the chess match.
And that's a huge win because I mean if I was reading things right, it's pretty much you're in.
Almost
pretty much sealed the deal.
13 right now.
Yeah, pretty much sealed the deal for us. As far as like point calculations and who can jump who and everything like that, it's
if a few teams win that you beat, definitely put you in there.
Right.
I mean, and
right. And that's I mean, I think Joe Idle's got us as controlling our own destiny right now.
Yes.
So, but I mean, listen, that puts no less emphasis on the game Friday night. I mean, you obviously don't want to be the 15-16 seed.
No,
you know what I mean.
Right.
You want to be like the 9-10 seed.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Exactly.
that's kind of the message this week to the kids is like they know we're in, and it's kind of like, hey. You don't be satisfied with where you're at.
Yeah, that's what I was ready to say.
Yeah.
So going forward, knowing that where you're at right now, and thinking since we're already in, if we do lose this game, it's not really going to hurt us, which it definitely can.
Right.
So you would rather win and get those points to try to move
Correct.
up a little higher.
Correct.
I do,
And
'cause I
get a little
understand
bit
that.
more favorable
Yes.
matchup. Yep. So and the team's been very. Again, I've not shied away from the fact that this is a conversation with our team every Monday of where we're at, where we can be with a win, what happens if we lose, and just understanding, and I think when I was playing, like I kind of had some idea of where we were at in the playoffs, and I remember looking back then at Joe Idle stuff, but I don't think they really grasp the magnitude of how quickly things can change.
Is there any team that you're looking at who, if things play out the way you want, your most favorable team?
You know what? Honestly, we're really there's not, because from the 7 seed to about the 12 seed, there are some really razor thin margins where like right now I have Valley Christian ahead of us. But Valley Christian had beaten McDonald. And McDonald plays Jackson Milton. They're both same record. And if Jackson Milton beats McDonald and Valley Christian doesn't get those points, we would then jump them, Valley Christian, even if Valley Christian won. So it's like the margins are so razor thin.
A couple wins here, a couple losses there, definitely change a lot.
I mean, we could go. I mean, I have us anywhere between, given the scenario, anywhere between 9 to 11, and have us playing. There's a lot of big games this week too. Like JFK is playing Southeast, and Southeast is 8-0, but obviously JFK is a really good football team.
Yes, always are.
You have Dalton is playing Norwayne, and Norwayne's undefeated, and Dalton's like supposed to be one of the best teams in the region right now. So it's just one of those things where a lot could happen Friday night that's going to change
the whole landscape.
How next Saturday is going to look. So
sure.
That's one thing I love about the Ohio high school playoff system, the computer rankings. It's not perfect, but it's just amazing that you've got, there might be a 1-7 team that you have nothing to do with that's playing somebody
it's a trickle
on the
down
other side
effect,
of the
basically.
state that can affect you.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like all year the kids are always asking, "Hey, coach, you know anything about algebra? Hey, coach, you know anything about math? You help me with this math." I'm like, guys, I don't know anything about math. But then this week, I'm like, a math wizard when it comes to the calculations, the playoff points.
Exactly.
I'm sitting there with my calculator, a lot, trying to figure things out. So, but I think that's part of the fun of it too, is trying to figure out where you're going to be and who you're going to play, and the anticipation of that. So.
Well, Coach, we're going to take our first break here, and then when we come back, we'll talk about this.
Sure.
One of the rivals, Steubenville Catholic Center. Listen to Coach Josh Frankie on Ohio Valley Sports Online. We'll be back after this.
The J.E. Foster Funeral Home has been proudly serving the communities of Toronto and Smithfield and all of Jefferson County for over 30 years. They are a family-owned funeral home, and they offer funeral and cremation services tailored to meet your needs, and they do so with professionalism, compassion, dignity, and respect. Jeff and Jay Foster would like to wish the best of luck to Toronto Red Knights and all of the teams up and down the Ohio Valley. If you or someone you know would like more information on how their family can help you guide your family in this time of need, please visit their website, www.jefosterfh.com. That is www.jefosterfh.com. Their motto, our emphasis on family carries over to yours. J.E. Foster Funeral Home, a proud sponsor of the Coaches Show. This high school event is brought to you by AT&T on Sunset via the AT&T Wireless Network. Remember, don't text and drive, it can wait. AT&T on Sunset is a proud sponsor of this high school event.
Want to become a sponsor of this online sports broadcast? It's easy. Look us up on Facebook under Ohio Valley Sports Online. Drop us a message right on our wall or shoot us an email. More bang for your buck. Why? Because it's not radio. It's an online internet sports broadcast with unlimited and endless potential for you. Why settle for less when you can advertise with the best? Ohio Valley Sports Online. Thanks to J.E. Foster Funeral Home for sponsoring Toronto Red Knights head football coach Josh Frankie on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
This high school event is brought to you by AT&T on Sunset via the AT&T Wireless Network. Remember, don't text and drive, it can wait. AT&T on Sunset is a proud sponsor of this high school event. The J.E. Foster Funeral Home has been proudly serving the communities of Toronto and Smithfield and all of Jefferson County for over 30 years. They are a family-owned funeral home, and they offer funeral and cremation services tailored to meet your needs, and they do so with professionalism, compassion, dignity, and respect. Jeff and Jay Foster would like to wish the best of luck to Toronto Red Knights and all of the teams up and down the Ohio Valley. If you or someone you know would like more information on how their family can help you guide your family in this time of need, please visit their website, www.jefosterfh.com. That is www.jefosterfh.com. Their motto, our emphasis on family carries over to yours. J.E. Foster Funeral Home, a proud sponsor of the Coaches Show.
And we're back here with Coach Josh Franke, the Toronto Red Knights, who always has his great Michigan family here with him having his lovely wife and beautiful daughters down here. Coach, this week, it really is nothing neat. So, we got a show to do, but this is your rival. Coach Agresta will be on next. You guys familiar with each other. The kids know each other up and down the river.
Yep.
And we talked about this as much as we do not like the 16-team system.
A lot riding on this game.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, not only for you guys, but for
them
them
even
too.
more so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, do the kids take it, that?
Listen, first off, this is like, we joked Monday in practice, like little kids, are all excited the week of Christmas and Christmas Day. Like, for a Toronto high school football player, this is like that week. This is like Christmas week, and Friday's like Christmas Day. This is the one you wait for all year to play. Our kids, are constantly reminded of this game in several different ways, and this is a big emphasis game for us every single year. So it's one of those ones you throw the records out and get ready to go. And listen, if you think for 1 minute the message from Monday moving forward is, hasn't been, hey, listen, they have to beat you to get in. If they beat you, they're in. So if you think for 1 minute they're not coming to throw the kitchen sink at you, they're going to. And we talked as coaches today, and it's kind of weird. The question was, how many plays into it do you think until we get a trick play of some sort, like a flea flicker or a hook and ladder or a reverse or something? They're going to give us everything they got. Their season is on the line.
Yes. Exactly.
And then our kids know that. And I told our kids, I said, listen, it doesn't matter how the year's gone. You lose to these guys, the playoffs. You might play in a playoff game the next week, but you're going to be crushed. And it's going to ruin your season
forever, for sure.
It's going to ruin your season. So our kids know that. Our kids are they're excited. It's been a good week of practice. It's been a good focused week of practice. Senior night, obviously, Friday for us. So everyone's really excited. Listen, like you said, we don't have to say much.
Right.
We don't have to say much. This is the game that matters the most in Toronto.
I don't want to go into your game plan, but is there any guys you're keying on that can definitely make an impact against your guys and vice versa?
Well, I don't know if it's so much as personnel as it is the scheme, and Coach Agresta obviously have all the respect in the world for him and his family. They're, it's when you're here every Wednesday, you see the other coaches, there's very few people in this world that can relate to what you're going through and what your family's going through, and our families have always kind of been on that same page and been able to relate to each other. So, but he does a good job of, putting some things out there, some schemes out there that, when you draw it up on the chalkboard and you're setting your defense to it, it kind of gives you some matchup problems. Obviously defensively, you always want to be gap sound. We're a gap sound defense. Everyone has a responsibility for a certain gap. And he does a good job of, creating some issues where you get an open gap and you're kind of like, man, what are we going to do about this open gap? So, defensively, I think we've been able to scheme up some ways that we are gap sound this week, which is the most important thing for us. But he does do a good job of kind of putting putting some pressure on you and pressure on our kids to make sure they're aligned properly. Because if you don't get aligned properly Friday night, they might hurt you.
Yeah.
You know, and they do a very good job of, you know, obviously you're always trying to guess what another coach is doing or what their schemes exactly are, but we kind of feel like they kind of line up, and when they see where that open gap is, a lot of times they'll full block it or X block it, however you want to call it, and they kind of almost ISO through that hole. And when they're in that empty set, they'll full block at and kind of try to climb to your linebackers, and they take advantage of your uncovered gap pretty good. They find it, and I think they try to execute through that gap. So it's very important as a defense that we're aligned properly and make sure that we don't have any of those gaps exposed. That's for sure.
Now, and on the other side of the ball, you know, offensively, what do you have to do? You know, what do you see?
I mean, we were fully expecting them to come out into 3-4. You know, they varied defensively the last couple of years a little bit, but you know, that too high safety look. We anticipate, you know, when we get like any type of double tight end stuff or full house backfield that we like to run, we anticipate one of their safeties dropping in. And maybe sometimes even both safeties dropping in, so we get a loaded box against those fronts. You know, and then I think there's no surprise to our offensive scheme. We have a tremendous athlete in Don Boucher. We try to get him the ball as many ways as we can. Obviously, Shane Keenan is a huge weapon for us. We try to get him involved as much as we can. And, you know, Cam Baker has become a really good, valuable asset at running back, so we get him involved as much as we can, too. So, you know, we try to hit you in different phases. You know, Cam out of the backfield, Dom on the outside, and Shane doing a little bit of everything as a big guy that's hard to cover. So we're going to lean on our offensive line. We have to establish the run game. You know, I'm a firm believer that, you know, if you don't have a run game in high school football, you're not going to win many games.
Exactly.
And we established that run game and let our quarterback manage the game himself. I think he's done an excellent job. This is the fewest interceptions we've thrown since I've been here at Toronto. And so he's done an excellent job of taking care of the football. And I think that's huge. You know, we need to be able to create some turnovers, and we need to hold on to the ball. Hold on to the ball and stop the explosive big plays. Again, we fully expect them coming out swinging and doing anything and everything they can to try and win this football game. And if that means they got to throw some tricks in there, we're anticipating that as well. So it'll be fun. It always is a fun game, and you know, but our kids got to show up and be ready to roll.
Yeah, you know, and I think back to a few years ago, a couple years ago, when you guys played, same situation down in Steubenville. You were in, they needed to, and that game was one of the most. It came down to the very last play
interception.
of the game.
Yep. Zach Stackhouse interception down the sideline
in the end zone. I mean, Central was, if they score, they win. They're in the playoffs. Zach got that big interception, and that was, and this sort of reminds me of that.
Sealed deal. And listen,
it's going to be the same atmosphere. I can imagine.
You know, and I tell you, as much as the Central players, I'm sure want to get in, just as much, you know, our kids want to get a higher seed. You know what I mean? So, like you said, there's a lot riding on the game itself. You know, but again, when my first year, this game was played week 1, and it wasn't the same.
Right.
You know, when I was in high school, it was always played week 10. And it was for this reason, you know. And not only is it a rivalry game, and a lot of the kids know each other, but it usually came down to some type of playoff implications.
Yes.
And that makes the game even bigger.
100
you know,
times
and
bigger, yeah.
So, you know, this is I see this being a continuing trend for years and years. It's, you know, now, especially now it's 16 teams. Is this game will always probably have some type of playoff implications. So, and that makes it an even bigger game for us.
Well, you know, Coach, before we wrap it up, I'd like to have you. This group's a special group. You know, you're senior, just Aiden Mick, Shane Keenan. You know, this will be their last home game.
Right.
You know, something you'd want to say to them. You know, as you know, ahead of their last Toronto high school home football game.
Sure. You know, listen. This, like you said, this has been a special group. And even more so for the fact that this was my first freshman class.
Right.
You know, when I came here, these were the guys I inherited coming in as their freshman class. I'm the only high school football coach they've known, and they're my first graduating class that I've had all 4 years here at Toronto, and they've been through it all, man. If my first year, we went 4-6, and we were one game out of the playoffs. So they know what it was like to be sitting out, and not being going. And then the next year, we went 8-2, made it in the playoffs, hosted a home playoff game. We got our butts beat. Last year we had COVID. It was the COVID year. We still got in the playoffs, hosted a home playoff game. They won that game.
Yeah.
And now it's looking like, we're going to get in and we're going to be in a playoff game, and we're going to have to go play an away game for a playoff game. So they've been through it all, man, and they've seen both sides of it. But I think we have something very special. I think our program we've built a nice, strong program, respectful program that, I think the kids can be proud of. And they help do that. They set the foundation for that, and they've kind of nurtured it as they've gone through. And we've been through a lot in the past 4 years, and I'm extremely proud of these guys. And obviously, we had a senior dinner last night for them. I'm gonna miss every one of them, and it's one of those things that this one sits a little
Right.
more special
Yeah, exactly.
than any other group that I've coached, just because they're my first one to kind of cycle all the way through. So,
Well, Coach, we appreciate it once
Thank
again.
you.
Good luck. I'd like to see if Dan, we can get a picture with Coach in front of their house.
Oh, I'd be happy
That
to,
would be
yeah.
awesome. That would be awesome. So, excellent job once again.
Thank
this
you.
year's always a pleasure having you down here, and good luck this week.
Thanks,
and,
man.
We won't get to talk to you next week, but we'll talk to you the following week.
Let's
We'll
hope
have
so.
the playoff
Yeah, we
game.
definitely
Let's hope so.
Thank you, Coach. That's
Thanks,
Coach
man.
Josh Frankie, Toronto
Thanks,
Red
Coach.
Knights.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Here on Ohio Valley Sports Online. We'll be back after this with Coach Anthony Agresta from Steubenville Catholic Central.
A pioneer of casual dining, Bennigan's is internationally known for its unique neighborhood vibe and exceptional chef-driven food. Come to Bennigan's on University Boulevard to stir up a great memory. Come for happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. and get $1 off draft and bottled beer and $1 off signature cocktails. Grab some bar bites too. Only $5 from 9 p.m. to close. Hey, are you a soccer fan? Check out the schedule of English Premier League soccer games. Bennigan's even has delivery service, and the number to call, 740-792-8080. You got a friend at Bennigan's.
This high school event is brought to you by AT&T on Sunset via the AT&T Wireless Network. Remember, don't text and drive, it can wait. AT&T on Sunset is a proud sponsor of this high school event.
Thanks, Bennigan's, for sponsoring Catholic Central High School head football coach Tony Agresta on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
Question. When you walk into the boardrooms of the most successful companies here in Ohio, who do you meet? Answer. Men and women who played high school sports. Education-based high school sports give us more than athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So, where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
This message presented by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the Ohio Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
A pioneer of casual dining, Bennigan's is internationally known for its unique neighborhood vibe and exceptional chef-driven food. Come to Bennigan's on University Boulevard to stir up a great memory. Come for happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. and get $1 off draft and bottled beer and $1 off signature cocktails. Grab some bar bites too. Only $5 from 9 p.m. to close. Hey, are you a soccer fan? Check out the schedule of English Premier League soccer games. Bennigan's even has delivery service, and the number to call, 740-792-8080. You got a friend at Bennigan's. Want to become a sponsor of this online sports broadcast? It's easy. Look us up on Facebook under Ohio Valley Sports Online. Drop us a message right on our wall or shoot us an email. More bang for your buck. Why? Because it's not radio. It's an online internet sports broadcast with unlimited and endless potential for you. Why settle for less when you can advertise with the best? Ohio Valley Sports Online.
And we're back here live at Bennigan's, the Ohio Valley Sports Online Catholic Central Coaches Show, sponsored by our host, Bennigan's. I was with Coach Tony Agresta of Steubenville Catholic Central, who tonight, every week, brings a beautiful, crowd. We much appreciate it. It enhances our show, and it's great to see, the family atmosphere that you bring. And you brought all four seniors tonight. That is an excellent. So, folks, that'll be a pleasure, because that's my favorite portion of the show, is actually talking to the kids. Coach, let's delve into the game. Didn't go the way they jumped out early and dug yourself in a little bit of a hole. And I guess they surprised me. I read 35 times they ran the ball.
Well, if I would have told you last Wednesday that he'd only complete 13 passes.
Correct.
They ran the ball 35 times, and take away the opening, their first run of the game went for 35 yards. They averaged exactly 3 yards a carry after that for the rest of the game. So
wow.
if I told you that he would only complete 13 passes, none of them got behind us for a score, which was one of our focal points during the week.
Right.
And they ran the ball that many times, I'd have told you things worked out just the way we wanted to. But the problem is, one of their scoring drives started at our 17-yard line. Another one started at our 27. And, they're just too proficient, with their passing game to give them a short field like that. So
right.
I think the thing that really was the, telltale is we felt like we had to control the football and keep it offensively, and we were not able to do that. So I really think, the field position that we provided for them and our inability to hang on to the football was really the difference in the game.
Well, football's a little easy. We always talk to coaches about it's about momentum. They score, and if I'm not mistaken, if I'm reading it right, you turn it over on an interception.
First offensive play.
Okay, first offensive play. So it's 14,
they run it back down to the 17-yard line.
You're 14-0 like
right.
that, and that kind of changes the game a little bit for what you guys try to do.
It does. It does. And, we were able to, I think Andrew was like 16 at 25.
Yes.
But, there wasn't a lot of yards after catch, so that was a factor. And, again, if we throw it 25, 30 times and, 12 of those are incomplete, we just extend the game a little bit more. And but with them running it 34, 35 times, I wasn't disappointed with that, to be honest with you. So
right, that was different than they're
right.
what they're used to doing. It seemed like though, if I read this right, you moved the ball a couple of times, just had drives that stalled.
Yeah,
we
got stopped inside the 5 first
right.
drive of the second half, and there were some other times, from 30 to 30 we moved it, but just did not play well offensively. Little bit of a disappointment.
Well, and we discuss this all the time, what turnovers will do to you. And it's tough for what you got a game plan going in, you got a plan in your mind, and then 7 minutes in, as a head coach, I know it's got to be tough thinking, oh my game plan is to be driving, keeping time off the clock. They score, we're giving it right back to them. How do I get my kids to regroup and get back to the game plan?
Right. Well, I will say this, after they put those 2 quick ones up, our kids really showed some grit because after a short punt in a short field, we stopped them on a 4-down try inside our 10.
Right.
We were able to do that. We were able to force a punt. Went for it on a 4th down in the first half. We stopped them, somewhere near the midfield area. So I really felt our kids didn't quit.
Yeah.
But 14-0. That's not the way we wanted to start that.
No, nobody wants to start like that. Nobody.
No.
And it seemed like it did seem like though in the second half as it started, you were able to swing a little bit of momentum, back your way, and get on the board.
Yeah. Well, reality was we took the opening kickoff of the second half. We went right down there, and we didn't finish the drive. And at that point in time, I'm sure the kids are smart. They start thinking, if we don't get that one in, are we going to make up a 20-point deficit? Now, they did not play like that necessarily, but those thoughts start creeping in. Those thoughts start creeping in.
Every athlete that's played the game, things start creeping in your mind. I don't care who you are.
Right.
We can talk on radio. We can talk off the air. It's the same conversation. It's definitely happening. I was really surprised. Jason said before we were doing the Big Red game, he thought that you guys would be able to run the football on him. I mean, we really did. That's the first thing that came out of his mouth. He goes, I think Central's going to run the football. I think it's going to be a fourth quarter game, and whoever has it last might win.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned this last week. I don't know if you remember it, but you asked me what I thought, and I said, when we went to scout them live against Toronto, I said the thing that stood out to me was not what they do offensively, because that is obvious.
Right.
Yeah.
The defense was playing hard against a team that was much bigger than them, and Toronto was able to do what they needed to do to win, but they certainly didn't. They didn't impose their will on Madonna.
Yeah.
And I thought that that was in the back of my mind for a week.
You're right.
Defensively, and I just happened to take a peek. Not a big looker at the stats, but I happened to take a peek in the Valley. They're second leading defense in the Valley right now when it came out in terms of points allowed per game, different things like that.
Well, me and Jason both know Danny really well. We told you this before. There ain't a team that he's going to coach going back down for nobody. I can tell you that now. He ain't afraid to play anybody, anywhere, anytime, and he'll make his kids get after it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they hats off to them.
Yeah,
they did what they needed to do to win. But again, on the back end, they run the ball 30 sometimes.
You got
he
thumbs up.
completes 13 passes for as much as they like to throw it.
Yeah,
I would have been pleased with that prior to knowing the outcome. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely changed, what they usually do. Excuse me. I just wanted to comment on the way it just seemed like the kids didn't quit. They kept fighting, and things might not have went your way this week, but the one thing that, as always, it seemed to the fourth quarter, to the very end of the game, that the kids kept fighting.
Yeah. Well, Billy said, Rivera's teams don't quit. Well, neither do ours.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and
that I can guarantee from week to week.
And that's what I was getting. I mean, which is another true testament to you and the coaching staff.
You're as bad as it is. You can win a game Friday night. You might be able to sneak in.
Yeah, a lot of people trying to do some math this week in the coach's office, trying to figure the thing out. But
go to Joe Hotel. Don't do the math. You'll get a headache.
But listen, bottom line is
got to win a football game.
Bottom line is we got to win, and if the rest is out of our control.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's what one thing I was saying that was great about the Ohio high school computer ranking system. It's very complicated, but to the most part it works. And you could have a team that you have no idea who they are, where they're from, the other side of the state, but they played somebody that you played that, and with the win, you guys are in. That's
well, in the day of the Huddle app,
yeah,
you can get film.
Right.
That's not hard to do. You can get film. I will say this about the computer system, for what it's worth. Coming back from Louisiana 3 years ago, I think they need to incorporate. Now, I don't know how much a difference it would have made on our behalf this year, but I think they have to find a way to reward teams that play hard schedules and play up and potentially lose to very good teams. Because when you lose, you get absolutely nothing. And so you can go in and you can play a 10-game schedule and play 8 really bad teams.
Yeah.
And you're going to get more rewarded than a school that maybe finished 4-6 or 5-5 and plays a really difficult schedule. So they have to, in my opinion, they have to incorporate something into that computer system where if you play schools that are very good, if you play schools that are larger than you, those things have to be factored in. And when I was in Louisiana, they did that, and it made a difference.
I agree with you. And I actually said that because a lot of teams, such as you guys, Toronto, play bigger schools, and you get nothing out of that.
You got to win the game to get the points.
Yeah, and you should be able to get something
Right
in
now,
a divisor.
not as of course that should be secondary or in a third tier of
right.
points,
Yeah,
whatever
still
the case
should be
may
something.
be.
I've said that.
But,
I agree with you.
You play a school like Barnesville this year.
Yeah.
Lord have mercy. We should get something for that. You know what I'm trying to say? And of course, it shouldn't count as much as a win does, but I think they need to factor those things in. When you watch these or not the computer, but the way they handle this with the college playoff, who you play, who you lose to, how
Helps.
well you played against those schools.
Helps.
Those things make a difference when things get close. So we're kind of vying for the last spot. It'd be nice if those things somehow factored in.
You said it right, bud. College is ran by 12 guys sitting in a room that have been around football. I got on an argument with a guy on Twitter today. It's great to have a 16-team playoff. What? Are you kidding me? Have you looked at the Division I playoffs? There's teams that are 0-9 are going to make the playoffs. Seriously, what are we teaching kids that if we lose every game, it's great to get to the playoffs? How about injuries, man? How about kids' safety? And I agree, but you know why it's like that? Because people who didn't play a sport are running a system. If you get a football guy in there, or football guys, I guarantee you'll have a better solution to it. I tweeted the guy today, Coach. I said, if you have any questions, I would love for you to come on the air and talk to me and Jason about any questions you have. We would love it. So you can explain to me how a team can play a Division I team, it's a Division IV team, lose and get no points, or play 8 teams in Division 6 and 7, get a home game in the playoffs. A team's got to travel 3 hours across the state to play you because you played nobody and we played somebody good.
Right. Well, again, that's just my opinion on it.
You can be nice about it. I can be an idiot about it because I don't care. I don't coach nobody.
I think you should reward teams for playing a difficult schedule.
And also,
that's the way I think it should be.
Also, and I go back to it because you can ask. I don't know if Billy was there. Jags and Dan. I was so mad a couple years ago. A team, and nothing against them, like Buckeye Local coming down. When you're searching for games, COVID games, when a bigger school, such as Steubenville, call them and say no, but yes, we want to come play. You got, and they're getting rewarded computer points, and you're getting nothing out of it. But you moved up 2-3 divisions to play a team, and it's just not right. I mean, so that's a good point.
Yeah. And again, I think that I'm thankful that there is a computer system to figure it out, because I think the numbers are not biased.
Correct.
But things can always be improved upon, and I think those things are worth a discussion. So.
Right, look, Coach, we're going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to get to I said my personal favorite part of all the shows is when you take the time to bring the kids down and let us get a little insight from them. And tonight, this is the first time we've done this. Is going to be great. We've got
4.
We have 4 seniors. We brought the field mic, and we're going to pass it around. And let each one of the seniors.
So you can stay here, Coach. We'll just put them right up.
Yeah, we'll give.
We'll put them right here, and you can stay here.
So and when we come back, folks, we'll have Timmy Lamanti, Antonio McGinnis, Massimo Lancia, and Primo Torricelli. You're listening to the Steubenville Catholic Central Coaches Show live on Ohio Valley Sports Online. We'll be back after this.
A pioneer of casual dining, Bennigan's is internationally known for its unique neighborhood vibe and exceptional chef-driven food. Come to Bennigan's on University Boulevard to stir up a great memory. Come for happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. and get $1 off draft and bottled beer and $1 off signature cocktails. Grab some bar bites too. Only $5 from 9 p.m. to close. Hey, are you a soccer fan? Check out the schedule of English Premier League soccer games. Bennigan's even has delivery service, and the number to call, 740-792-8080. You got a friend at Bennigan's.
Don't start asking those kind of questions.
It's not me.
Want to become a sponsor of
Get
this
close
online
together.
sports broadcast?
It
It's
won't be
easy.
15
Look us up
minutes,
on
so it won't be
Facebook under
exposure for
Ohio Valley
COVID.
Sports Online. Drop us a message right on our wall or shoot us an email. More bang for your buck. Why? Because it's not radio. It's an online internet sports broadcast with unlimited and endless potential for you. Why settle for less when you can advertise with the best? Ohio Valley Sports Online.
We're back here live at Bennigan's, folks. Steubenville Catholic Central show. Coach Tony Agresta. And as I said, this is my favorite part of the show when the young men come down. And Central has 4 seniors. And, thankfully, thank you. I always say this, you take time. You've got practice. You've got work or homework. You've got school. And then you come down. We appreciate you guys coming down. We've got Timmy LaManti.
They have homework. They do the homework. That's another question.
Yes.
I don't know.
So I'm going to talk a little bit louder here, Dan, so I want you guys to be able to hear me and me and Billy talking to. We've got a Timmy LaManti, Antonio McGinnis, Massimo Lancia, and Primo Torselli. Fellas, thank you for taking time out of your busy, busy day to come down. And I'm going to grill you guys tonight, though. We're going to have some fun. But let's start off, senior year. 4 seniors, a young team. You guys went from, I remember when you guys sophomores, you all, were around then, and now you're the leaders. What's this year been like, for you guys? If you want to just one at a time, take turns with the mic and pass it around.
It's just been, just going in now. After we've been through this for 3 years now, it's our turn to be the leaders and lead the underclassmen to do what we've been doing for the past 3 years. Yeah.
It's just been a great experience. A lot of ups and downs, but an overall great experience.
Yeah, it's been fun being able to help these underclassmen and teach them, just show them the way and kind of, be out there.
It's harder being older and being the one to always pick up the little guys, but you have to always be there and always pick them up, and it's been a good year, I'll admit.
All right. I know you guys can hear me now. My question to you guys, Jason, to piggyback off of it, going into your senior year of football, what are you going to miss from Steubenville Catholic Central football? What are you going to miss the most? Because I know we're old now, and I always tell my son, man, I wish I could go back. Don't ever live every moment of it because you can't get it back. Is there something you're going to miss more than others?
Yeah, we'll just miss going to practices and games and being with all the people that we've been through through the past 4 years. Just feel different once we're done playing.
I'm just gonna miss going out there with my brothers and battling every Saturday night and Friday night.
I mean, it's a brothership. It's a family. You got everyone right by your side. That's probably what I'm going to miss the most.
It's always being out there on a Friday night with your family behind you and your whole school behind you, and just knowing your brothers in the game always have your back, win or lose. It's just the family it creates.
All right, now here's a part where I'm going to have a little fun with you guys. Give me your favorite Coach Agresta story.
Be very, very careful.
Hey, listen, guys, you only got one game left.
Very, very careful.
Maybe more.
Maybe more. That's right. Maybe 2 or 3. He passed that mic real quick. He passed that real quick.
Hey, we need a commercial break. I want to screen these stories.
Okay, Matt, so what's yours, buddy?
Don't be shy.
Giving us hard questions.
That's what we're here to do. That's why we get paid the big bucks, they say.
Yes. Now, maybe you don't have one. If you want to pass it on, but just give me the one thing you're going to remember the most about Coach Agresta. I'll leave it at that.
I guess just when he came in 2 years ago and just helped out with the football program and
Yeah, basically help. I mean, keep it going. You're right.
Yeah. Okay.
They're nervous. What are you going to miss? What are you going to miss?
I mean, Coach, he always tries to build a relationship with all his players.
Yeah.
He's always there for them, and if you need someone to talk to, he's right there. I mean, it's a true relationship. It's not just, hey, he's my coach, I need to do this, I'm going to miss that.
what Tone said, I'll miss the relationship I have with him. It's more than just a coach and a player. It's more of almost like a dad and a son. It's all just one big family, our team is. And it's almost like if you need anything, he'll help you with all that. And no matter what, he'll be there for you.
It's my question coming back is it's great to have a coach like that. I still to this day, I'm 47 years old. I can say it on, and I'm not a woman, but I still to this day talk to my baseball coach in high school every single day.
Yeah.
You know, that's you can't get that back.
Nah.
You know, that's good for you guys.
Yeah. Can I say something about these guys?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Listen, I've been coaching for 30 some odd years now. Assistant, head coach, coordinator, whatever. There has not been a group of seniors that has had to shoulder more of a load in all my 30 some years of coaching. There's 4 of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
There's 4 of these guys. Yeah. Antonio is limited to kicking because of his injury. Okay. And, usually when you're a senior, you may have to count on 6 underclassmen, 7 underclassmen to kind of help you achieve your goals. What these guys have done, the attitude they've displayed, the big brothering they've done to these young kids, while, they know this is their last year. They know they may never put on a football helmet, after that last game. And for them to have the attitude, the Christ-like spirit, the just display winning character every week when you're having to count on freshmen and sophomores and juniors to help you get what you want. It'd be real easy. It'd be real easy to get a little bit bitter, as those kids are learning that are playing with you. But they have been outstanding. Leadership. People define leadership in a lot of ways. What I've seen these guys do as leaders, I'm humbled by it. I really am.
That's excellent. Well, fellas, we thank you, for coming down once again, and thank your families for, bringing you guys down. Always a pleasure having you guys down here, and, good luck Friday night, and we appreciate you guys, and I know Coach appreciates you guys, so as you added to the tradition that is Steubenville Catholic Central. So, good luck, and hopefully, this time next week we're talking to you again, Coach again, as you are heading to the playoffs. That's Timmy Lamanti, Antonio McGinnis, Massimo Lancio, and Primo Torselli. The 4 seniors will make their final varsity regular season game this week at Toronto. Thank you, fellas. And then when we come back, we'll talk to Coach about this week's opponent, the Toronto Red Knights, here on Ohio Valley Sports Online.
A pioneer of casual dining, Bennigan's is internationally known for its unique neighborhood vibe and exceptional chef-driven food. Come to Bennigan's on University Boulevard to stir up a great memory. Come for happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. and get $1 off draft and bottled beer and $1 off signature cocktails. Grab some bar bites too. Only $5 from 9 p.m. to close. Hey, are you a soccer fan? Check out the schedule of English Premier League soccer games. Bennigan's even has delivery service. And the number to call? Got a sidewalk that needs replaced, or maybe a pioneer of casual dining, Bennigan's is internationally known for its unique neighborhood vibe and exceptional chef-driven food. Come to Bennigan's on University Boulevard to stir up a great memory. Come for happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. and get $1 off draft and bottled beer and $1 off signature cocktails. Grab some bar bites too. Only $5 from 9 p.m. to close. Hey, are you a soccer fan? Check out the schedule of English Premier League soccer games. Bennigan's even has delivery service. And the number to call? 740-792-8080. You got a friend at Bennigan's.
And we're back here, folks, with Coach Agresta. Thank you once again, Coach. Like I said, I always say that's my favorite part of the show, getting to talk to interact with the kids a little bit.
Great kids, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
Great kids.
Yes, sir.
Fine young men.
I don't know if you got to listen to the Coach Frankie show, but really, we have, like I said earlier, we have to do a show, but there's really nothing needs to be said about this week. These kids know each other. They grew up, they're neighbors, longtime rivals, and once again, big playoff battle on the line. Excuse me, big playoff implications here in this battle. I remember 2 years ago, we were talking about. It came down to the very last play of the game. When,
yes, it certainly did.
Yes, I mean it didn't work out, but but the only reason I bring that up because it was a same situation. It was a big battle, and
hey, if you were just a fan, that was a great game.
Yeah, you're right.
If you were in blue and gold, it still bothers you.
Yeah. You know what I take away from that game? And Jags brings it up. I talked about the Sprock guy at the end of the
chasing
game.
him down.
Yeah, at the end of the game.
He didn't have to. The game was over. He chased him down.
And that's the one I remember that to this day.
Well, another thing I'm proud of. So Anthony Lefevre, who was our leading receiver that year, had to slide into that quarterback role.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Week 7, and Anthony was more of a runner than he was a thrower. But we were in that situation. We had to throw the ball and move down the field, and He put that drive together, and I think Hank Stram would say he matriculated that ball down the field.
Stram, yeah.
And he gave us a chance at the end. So I'm telling you what, sometimes when your back's against the wall and things don't look good, not sometimes, that's when you really find out who people are.
That's
and
you're exactly right.
I was proud of that group.
Yep. I agree with you there. You find out what you got when you're backed into the foxhole and who's coming out throwing and who's backing down and putting their head between their legs. I agree with you there. But getting back to Toronto, they're big. They're big up front.
You're kidding.
No. No. Now, listen, when you can line a 6'6" kid up, 325 pounds at tight end, and giving the ball, running the ball, I mean.
And they've got guys bigger than that.
Yeah.
Just so we set the record straight.
Yeah.
But he's a skilled guy for a big guy. He really is. Yeah.
Like I said, Toronto, they are the biggest line in the valley. But it's still you throw the records out for this game. They're Toronto, you're Central. You're going up there this week. What's the message to the kids? Do we even bring up hey, if we win, we're in, or is it just more of this is?
Yeah, that's the first. That's the first thing we said this week.
Okay, really?
Other than. I take that back. That's the second thing we said. The first thing we communicated to them was because, somewhat of our destiny is not in our own hands, we said that this week is for these seniors because we don't have any guarantees next week. And, these seniors have been for you. I'd mentioned to you before what they've meant to the team, how they've carried themselves. And I told those young guys, you're playing for these 4 this weekend. That's what you're doing. I mean, naturally they're playing for the team, but
right.
The extra motivation is you're playing for these 4 guys.
That's a good way to start, though, when you're playing for 4 guys that put 4 years in to Steubenville Catholic Central football, and you always want to send your seniors out on a good note. And what would be a greater note of beating your rival at their place, and probably getting yourself in the playoffs? I mean, you couldn't write a better script going into the last game of the season.
Yeah, sometimes I just wish I knew the end of the story.
It's something.
We talked to Coach a little bit, and same thing to you, not going in the game plans, but just on the outer, in general, what do you see from this year's Toronto team? What are you expecting a little bit?
Well, look, Coach Frankie does a great job of giving you about 400 different formations when he comes out. So. He does a good job with that, and I don't know that a lot of high school teams would be able to stay organized without assignment mistakes, coming out in all those different looks. And the biggest thing we're focusing on this week is we understand the size that they have, and some of the skill guys they have. That's a given, but we're going to have to be able to quickly recognize, what they come out in offensively, and get ourselves lined up so we can make sure we give ourselves a fighting chance. So, yeah, they do an excellent job with that.
That's a good explanation of what people say. They say everybody gives you a different formation, but you just got to play your assignment on it, and then it doesn't make a difference what you do. You just got to play your assignment, and you'll be good. It's tough in high school when you're 15, 16-year-old kids trying to get lined up to a different formation you're seeing. I understand exactly what you're saying. But, I agree with you. Play your assignments, you're in good shape,
Yeah, alignment and assignment, 70% of the game.
Oh, yeah.
The rest is usually grit, heart, some technique. Yeah.
And is there, any message other, different this week? I guess what I was looking for. I lost my train of thought. That I was trying to say. Like you said, playing for the 4 seniors, playing for the playoffs,
Right.
playing Toronto. This week, are the kids? I mean, it's how the practice is going. Because that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Is there a little bit of nervousness? Are they?
No, I'll tell you what. You try to get a read on your kids, especially late in the year. And the practice environment has been excellent this week.
Excellent.
We're coaching staff is very happy. And we're trying to keep those things as long as necessary, but short enough to stay crisp. They've been through quite a year. But, yeah, the practices have been great. And, you said a message. The thing that's hanging out there that you really don't have to say is, you don't take care of business, you might be done.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm trying to say? You don't have to tell them that.
That's good.
And, that's kind of hanging out there. And that can be motivation for, for any team that has some fight in them.
I agree, especially when it's always nice to end the season with a rivalry. Even like Jason said it right. You can throw the records out if you were 0-9 and 0-9 and no chance to make the playoffs. It's going to be a good football game. You're going to battle because you grew up with these guys. You know, you know them, so it's a rivalry. and You want to win.
Absolutely.
You got 364 days of bragging rights.
Right.
Like Ohio State's had over Michigan for the last long time, 13, 12 years. So
any comments?
I got to get a jab in there.
No, I was just looking at the preseason basketball rankings. I didn't see Ohio State there. I didn't see Ohio State there.
Oh, man.
Hey, now, I'll say this, though. So you got to be careful. For a football school, Ohio State handles themselves pretty well in basketball.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Is that an accurate statement?
And they are ranked. He just missed it down at the bottom. They're not ranked in the top 10, but they are ranked. They're ranked 21st.
Okay.
But I had to get that in. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Coach, we're going to let you go here. And but to wrap it up, I just wanted to, you sort of answered earlier when we talked to the kids, but I'd like to just, like I said, their last varsity, regular season game. And not just them, the underclassmen. What, the message that you would like to, leave us here, with, going out to them just over this year, and then what you expect, in the future.
Those four guys showed you what leadership is. They showed you what quality seniors should do, how they should carry themselves. You're a part of a legacy.
Yes.
Now you need to pick that. You need to pick your piece up and carry it forward, and that's what I'd like to tell the younger guys.
All right, well, I appreciate your time, coaches, every weekend. I'm going to have to talk to Franco here because you ought to be getting something here. This crowd is amazing.
This crowd's all central.
Yeah,
it's all
it's
central.
amazing. And every week you have a nice crowd, and we.
Is Franco here? Is he anywhere in the building?
I hope he's listening.
He's listening.
Yes, but no,
he sponsors our segment of the show now. Remember that.
Correct. That's correct.
That's a good point. But no, I love the fact that you bring the kids down, and every week. You get to see the family. This is great having all four of them. I really like that. Thank you, and good luck.
Appreciate you guys.
Friday, and,
Thank you very much. Thanks,
always a pleasure. Coach.
Thanks. Okay. God bless.
That's going to wrap it up, folks, here on the Ohio Valley Sports Online Coaches Show.
Hey, don't forget Sharon.
Oh, you're right.
Oh, your mom.
Don't forget Sharon. Don't forget Sharon.
Yes, Mrs. Agresta, we're so sorry. We're so sorry. Thank you for joining
Yes.
us, too. Yes. And, folks, join Friday night. It'll be Billy Ellis, Jimmy Mack Wilson, as Super Big Red hosts University. The University Hawks, I believe it is. They're live on Ohio Valley Sports Online. Until then, have a great rest of your week, folks.